What's up, y'all? It's Matt with Family Tradition Farms. We got we got a big problem here at the farm. So as many of you know, we've got a massive industrial solar project going in that butts up against my field. As big of a pain as it's been with them doing construction and installing these panels, we thought they were about done. They're not. So for some reason, back behind me, right down there, they've got a pumper truck. It's almost like they're working on underground water, and because we're in Indiana and we have a water table, the trench is filled back in with water. Remind me, I'll touch base on the first time that they had this problem. They're now sucking that water out, coming right over here and pumping it, not dumping it, pumping it out, which is now flooded and silted all the way down into my field. Now, typically, it's December, not a huge deal. But guess what? My field's was planted. I've got a huge strip that's now washed out and silted out because they've got erosion mats put in place. The silt's over top of the erosion mat. They've pumped out so much garbage, it's literally gone over top of the erosion mat. I'll take you down there in just a second so you can see exactly how much garbage they've pumped out and is now into my property. If that wasn't bad enough, right down here is a creek. It's called the Dixon Lewis Ditch. It runs right straight into the Ohio River, and it is a legal waterway in the state of Indiana. Now, I'm not a lawyer or a biologist or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure you can't just dump garbage into a public waterway. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but you ought to have a permit at least for this. So anyway, let me take you down here because, guys, I'm mad. I can't handle this. If I stand up here any longer, I'm going to start yelling at people. Let's run down here. Let me show you how much freaking water is standing in my field and how much silt they've pumped out that's now covered up their erosion control mat. I'll meet you down here at the bottom. Yeah, so there you can see them. They're pumping something. They're working in a trench of some kind, and they're pumping out a bunch of water. And they've made just an absolute hog pen mess of this road, which, let me zoom out for you guys. I mean, just slop. And you can see where all this shit that they're pumping is literally flowing right downhill. Oh, hey, look, there's standing water where there's never been standing water before. And it just keeps going until it crosses into my property. And then it continues on down my property. And it continues on down until finally it goes into the ditch. Now, before any of you internet warriors get involved, I'm on my property. Property line is right about here. We've got it marked off. So I'm not trespassing. That's their property. As you can see, they've rutted it all up. This is my property. I'm not trespassing. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm simply shooting a video on my own property. Here you go, guys. This is what I'm talking about. So we were right up there, actually right where that flashing light's at on top of that skid steer. He just come through slinging mud like a son of a buck. We've come down the hill, and they've got this black plastic erosion mat in place. Oh, wait, all of a sudden, it's gone right here because it's silted over. They've literally pumped so much crap from up above that this whole fence line is silted over. I mean, you can see how much silt. It's literally pushed the fence out. Let me see if I can zoom in here. It's literally pushed the fence away from the stakes. They've pumped out so much at so much force. So all this water is just coming down the hill, pumping right across here. Again, literally has destroyed the silt fence. Continues on. Look, I'm still on my property. Oh wait, my property's flooded. This was growing crops. Now, look, I mean, you can see where I still got some growing, but it's flooded so much that this is all dead. I've got standing water out here. I've never had standing water here. This doesn't happen. We've got all this silt that's just come across here. Now, you're telling me that this isn't going to cause problems? Look, I mean, it's all the way down. The erosion control fence is silted over. It's not just right here at the corner. It's all the way down. You can't tell me that that's not going to cause me some problems, let alone I'm already experiencing it. I mean, you can see right where my crop's not growing anymore. I mean, this is ridiculous. And look, right here is the ditch. It's the Dixon Lewis ditch. It's a public waterway. All this stuff, and let's just hope it's just water and mud. We don't know, because, well, they're just going to tell us it's water and mud, but honestly, we have no idea. There could be pollutants, there could be plastics, God knows what. It's getting into the public waterway that's then getting into the Ohio River, that then's going into the Mississippi River, that's eventually ending up in the Gulf of Mexico. Come on, guys. You cannot tell me that this is green energy, that this is better for the environment. It's just not. So here you go, guys. Industrial solar farming, if you want to call it farming. Supposedly this new green energy that's supposed to save the planet, protect the environment. I call bullshit. I do, guys. It's straight bullshit. If you guys have any questions or anything about it, comment down below. If maybe you know more than I do, I'd be happy to hear your opinion on it. Let me know. Drop a comment down below, because, guys, this doesn't make any sense to me. I don't see how, one, legally you're allowed to pump crap directly into the public water, or two, you're allowed to pump crap that goes directly onto someone else's property. Doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me. I'd be more than happy to change my thoughts on it. But on top of this is not the first time that they've actually destroyed my water personally. My house, which is just on the other side of this property here, has no safe drinking water. Hasn't for about 10 months now. Because back beginning part of this year, when they were installing another section of the solar panels, they cut 3 different oil well pipes, buried oil well pipes. Didn't cap them. They just cut them, buried them back up. Those then backflush into my aquifer. My water, my well water, is not safe to drink. We've sent it to labs. It's come back contaminated. We sent it to the state, Indiana Department of Environmental Management, and the DNR, Division of Oil and Gas, and they've both come back and said, yeah, that contamination looks just like you have an oil well that's ruptured and is contaminating your drinking water. So it's not just the solar panel's fault. Our county commissioners are the ones that signed off on them to trench the road that broke the oil pipes. That wasn't even part of the original plan. So not only do we have billion-dollar corporations fighting against us, we have our local county officials fighting against us. This isn't fair, guys. As a farmer, we're already set up to fail with poor commodity prices, high input prices, tough growing conditions. Now, we have even more external factors that are just making it even harder for us to get by. All we're trying to do is make a living out here, and we got these people that are coming in and just ripping away our hopes and dreams. Well, they know they're in the wrong. We've been sitting here for about 20 minutes watching this truck refusing to dump. He will not dump while we're sitting here trying to get a good video. Don't worry, I already have a video. We drove down the road to hide the bright green truck, and what do? They jump out and get ready to start dumping. As soon as we get back, they get back in the truck and they leave. It's like they know they're in the wrong. This guy here, he's their spotter. He's like, hey guys, yeah, probably not a good idea. We're in the wrong. We're going to be fined big time. You know, we need to not be caught doing this. Stop. Too bad. I already got a video. Check it out. All right, here's the video I shot earlier this morning. I was working out in the yard, and I saw this truck pull up in the field, and I was curious what he was doing, so I decided to start filming it. Now this is a fast-forwarded video until the action really gets to taking off there. Keep in mind this is probably 200 yards away, so you can really tell the volume of material that's about to come out of this truck is just absolutely insane, that they would ever think that it was appropriate to dump this kind of stuff all over the ground. So here he's going to raise the tank up a little bit and basically get all that sludge to the back. He opens it a little bit here, which I think is just to kind of crack open the tank, but then it shuts off. Now what you guys can't hear at this point is he's turning on some kind of pressurizer, and it's pressurizing that tank. And as he raises this up and all that material in that tank slides to the back, that pressure in that tank is just building. And here in just a second, he's going to open the gates, and it's going to just come a-flowing.
You can tell he's dressed for this, has been doing this all day, probably all week, if not for a couple weeks. Look at the absolute stream of material. And you can see it just flowing down the field there. I mean, just massive amounts of water and dirt and silt and whatever other kind of pollutants that they're sucking out of this trench that they're working in. And this goes on for a good bit of time. Now, the entire process only lasted about 5 minutes, and we were watching every bit of 6 to 7, sometimes even 8 of these per hour dumping. Now, based off my guess, that's probably about 1,000-gallon tank. So you're talking about 5,000 gallons at the minimum every hour being just, I mean, look at that. That's just blowing out the back. So 5,000 gallons every hour. They work 8 hours a day. You're looking at 40,000 gallons every day that they're possibly just blowing out on the ground, and then that's running across into my field.
Well, I tried capturing them, getting a little closer, getting a better video, but literally every time I would be in position to get them on video, they literally ran back to the truck, jumped in the truck, and stopped moving. They know they're in the wrong. They know what they're doing is either not legal or severely irresponsible. I'm kind of betting on both. But anyways, guys, this is just one of the many problems. Like I mentioned earlier, they contaminated my drinking well. This ditch that runs along my road, they trenched it so that they could bury a cable and connect 2 of the solar arrays. That was not in the original plan. Our county commissioner signed off on that and said, yeah, go ahead, trench whatever you want. It's a county road, use county right away. Refer back to my earlier video on how my road was impassable for 11 days. My pregnant wife could barely even get out and go to her doctor's appointments. And then my water went to crap. I'm still not able to drink it. And it's been 6, 8, 10 months later. Anyways, guys, I'm about tired of all this solar panel crap. I understand if you guys are into it. That's your choice. If you want to lease your ground, that's your choice. But think about people like me that live next to it, that don't have anything to gain from it other than an absolute pain in the ass from all the construction, all the workers, and all the downfall that comes from these industrial solar farms going in. I appreciate you guys listening to my rant. If you stuck around this long, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, maybe share it to a couple friends, just so that if you have industrial solar farm talking about going into your area, you can show this video to your commissioners and say, hey, this is not good. And if you have more questions, message me, comment down below. I'd be more than happy to give you more information and all of the nightmare that I've been living in for the last 12 months. I appreciate you guys. Thanks. And y'all have a good one.